Picture yourself standing at the edge of a mountain trail, the path ahead blocked by a massive boulder. Your first instinct might be to turn back, frustrated, defeated. But what if that boulder isn't a roadblock? It's the very thing that makes you stronger, wiser, the key to unlocking a better version of yourself. Welcome to the first principle of Stoicism that we're exploring today on ZENLIGHT. View obstacles as opportunities. This isn't just some feel-good mantra. It's a mindset shift that's been battle-tested for centuries, from the marble halls of ancient Rome to the chaos of our modern lives. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who faced wars, betrayal, and a plague-ravaged empire, wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that for a second. The very thing that seems to stop you, whether it's a job loss, a broken relationship, or even a global crisis like we saw in 2020, could be the doorway to growth, resilience, and a life you never imagined possible. Have you ever lain awake at night, your mind racing with what-ifs? What if I fail that presentation tomorrow? What if my boss doesn't like my work? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts feel so real, so heavy, that they can steal your peace before anything even happens. Welcome to the second principle of Stoicism we're diving into on ZENLIGHT. Don't suffer imaginary pains. This idea, rooted in the wisdom of ancient philosophers and echoed in timeless teachings, is a game changer for living with clarity and calm in our fast-paced, anxiety-driven world. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher who navigated the treacherous politics of Nero's Rome, wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How many times have you built up a catastrophe in your head, only to realize later it wasn't nearly as bad as you feared? I'll share a story from my own life. A few years back, I was preparing for a big pitch to a client. I spent days agonizing over every possible way it could go wrong, stumbling over my words, the client hating the idea, losing the deal. I barely slept, my stomach in knots. When the day came, the pitch went fine. Not perfect, but fine. The client gave constructive feedback and we moved forward. All that worry, it was just noise in my head, stealing my energy and joy. Jesus taught a similar lesson in the Sermon on the Mount. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. This isn't just spiritual advice. It's practical wisdom for 2025, where we're bombarded with constant notifications, social media comparisons, and the pressure to keep up. Think about the modern equivalent of worrying about a harvest, like the farmer in our original story. Maybe you're stressing about a looming deadline, a tough conversation with a colleague, or even the state of the economy. Does that worry make the outcome better? Or does it just rob you of the present moment? Let's look at a real-world example. During the 2020 pandemic, millions of people lived in fear of the unknown, job losses, health risks, isolation. But those who thrived, like the entrepreneurs who pivoted to online businesses or families who reconnected through virtual game nights, focused on what they could control, their actions, their mindset, their gratitude for the present. They didn't let imaginary fears dictate their reality. So, how do you apply this principle today? Start by catching yourself in the act of worrying. The next time your mind spirals into what if, pause and ask, is this happening right now, or am I creating this pain? If it's not real, let it go. Try this practical exercise. Set a timer for 2 minutes, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Let those anxious thoughts float by like clouds. This isn't just mindfulness fluff. It's a Stoic tool to ground you in the present. In our hyper-connected world, where FOMO and comparison are just a scroll away, this practice is your shield. Imagine you're worried about a big exam or a job interview coming up. Instead of picturing failure, channel that energy into preparing one extra study session or practicing your pitch. Focus on what you can do today, not what might go wrong tomorrow. Here's a challenge for you. In the comments, share one worry you've had recently that turned out to be nothing. How did it feel when you realized it was just in your head? Let's inspire each other to let go of these imaginary burdens. By mastering this principle, you're not just reducing stress, you're reclaiming your power to live fully in the moment. As we continue this journey on ZENLIGHT 8, let's explore how embracing the impermanence of life can unlock even deeper peace and purpose. Stay with me for the next principle. Life is like a river, always flowing, never still. One moment you're riding high, the next you're navigating a sudden twist or turn. Yet it's this constant change that makes life so rich, so alive. Welcome to the third principle of Stoicism on ZENLIGHT. Embrace impermanence. This isn't about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. It's about finding freedom and joy in the reality that nothing lasts forever. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire while grappling with personal loss and the fragility of life, wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." His words remind us that our view of change, whether it's a job ending, a loved one moving away, or even the seasons shifting, shapes how we experience it. When we resist change, we suffer. When we embrace it, we grow. Let's think about a modern example. In 2023, when tech layoffs swept through Silicon Valley, thousands of workers faced sudden uncertainty. One software engineer, Sarah, lost her dream job at a major tech firm. Instead of fighting the change, she embraced it. She took a coding boot camp to learn new skills, started freelancing, and within a year, launched her own app. That impermanence, the loss of her job, became the spark for a new chapter. Jesus echoed this wisdom when he said, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God." This isn't just about faith. It's about finding strength in something deeper than fleeting circumstances. Change isn't a punishment. It's an invitation to adapt, to discover what truly matters. Reflect on your own life for a moment. Maybe you've faced a big change recently, a move to a new city, the end of a relationship, or even a shift in your health. How did you respond? Did you cling to what was, or did you find a way to flow with the river? I'll share a personal story. A few years ago, my family went through a tough season when my father got sick. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that life is fragile. Instead of resisting that reality, I leaned into it. I spent more time with him, had deeper conversations, and cherished moments I might have taken for granted. That change, painful as it was, taught me to live with gratitude every single day. In today's world, where trends on TikTok change in a week and global events shift overnight, embracing impermanence is a superpower. It means savoring a coffee date with a friend, knowing it's a fleeting moment. It means not sweating a bad day at work, because tomorrow is a fresh start. Here's how you can apply this principle right now. Take 5 minutes tonight to write down 3 things you're grateful for today. They could be as small as a warm meal or as big as a supportive partner. Then ask yourself, if this were gone tomorrow, how would I find peace? This exercise rewires your brain to appreciate the now while preparing you for change. For a real-world application, think about your career. With automation and AI reshaping jobs in 2025, you might worry about your role becoming obsolete. Instead of fearing that change, embrace it. Take an online course, network with new people, or explore a passion project. Change is your chance to reinvent yourself. I challenge you to share in the comments. What's one change you faced recently, and how did it shape you? Let's build a community of growth right here on ZENLIGHT 8. As we move forward, let's dive into the art of letting go, because sometimes holding on too tightly is what keeps us from true freedom. Stay tuned for the next principle. What if the secret to true freedom lies not in holding on, but in letting go? In a world that tells us to chase more success, more stuff, more validation, it's easy to feel weighed down by things we can't control. Welcome to the fourth principle of Stoicism on ZENLIGHT. Master the art of detachment. This isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about finding peace by focusing only on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your choices. Marcus Aurelius, who faced the pressures of ruling an empire, wrote, "That which is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees." His words remind us that clinging to things that harm our peace, like grudges, regrets, or outcomes beyond our reach, only hurts us. Detachment means releasing those burdens to make room for what truly matters. Let's look at a modern example. In 2021, gymnast Simone Biles made headlines when she withdrew from the Tokyo Olympics to prioritize her mental health. The world expected her to push through, to cling to the pressure of performing. But she let go of those expectations, choosing her well-being over external validation. That act of detachment wasn't weakness, it was strength, inspiring millions to rethink what success really means. Jesus taught a similar lesson. Cast your burden on the Lord and He will sustain you. This isn't just about faith, it's about trusting that you don't have to carry every weight alone. I've had my own moments of learning this lesson. A few years ago, I was obsessed with fixing a falling out with a friend. I replayed every argument, tried to control the outcome, and lost sleep over it. Then I realized I couldn't change their feelings, only my response. So I let go. I wrote them a heartfelt note, wished them well, and focused on my own growth. That release brought a peace I hadn't felt in months. In 2025, detachment is more crucial than ever. Whether it's letting go of a toxic job in a gig economy, scrolling past social media drama, or releasing guilt over a past mistake, this principle frees you to live lighter. Here's how to apply it. The next time you're stressed about something, say a delayed flight or a missed opportunity, ask yourself, is this in my control? If not, take a deep breath and let it go. Try this exercise. Write down one thing you're holding on to that's draining you. Maybe it's a grudge or a what if about the past. Then physically tear up that paper and say, I release this. It's a small act, but it's powerful. For a practical example, think about your finances. With inflation and economic uncertainty in 2025, you might stress about market dips or rising costs. You can't control the economy, but you can control your budget, your savings habits, or learning new skills to boost your income. Focus there and let the rest go. I challenge you to share in the comments. What's one thing you're ready to let go of today? Let's support each other in finding that freedom. As we continue on ZENLIGHT 8, let's explore how daily reflection can deepen this practice, helping us grow stronger every day. Stay with me for the next step. What if the key to becoming your best self is as simple as pausing to look within? In our hectic lives, we're always rushing, scrolling through feeds, chasing deadlines, planning the next move. But what if a few quiet moments each day could transform how you see yourself and the world? Welcome to the fifth principle of Stoicism. On ZENLIGHT 8, practice daily reflection. This isn't about navel-gazing, it's about carving out time to learn from your experiences, to understand your strengths, and to grow from your mistakes. Marcus Aurelius, who led an empire while journaling his thoughts by candlelight, made this a cornerstone of his life. In his meditations, he wrote to himself, questioning his actions, challenging his fears, and seeking wisdom. That practice kept him grounded amidst chaos. Jesus, too, emphasized reflection, saying, "Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you." This is an invitation to look inward, to ask hard questions, and to find clarity. I started this practice a few years ago during a particularly tough season. Every night, I'd spend 5 minutes writing down 3 things: what went well, what didn't, and what I'd do differently. One night, I reflected on a heated argument with a coworker. I realized I'd reacted out of pride, not reason. The next day, I apologized and rebuilt that relationship. That small habit of reflection didn't just fix a moment, it changed how I approach conflict. Let's look at a modern example. Entrepreneur Elon Musk, known for his relentless drive, has spoken about reflecting on failures to improve. When SpaceX's early rockets crashed, he didn't just push forward. He analyzed what went wrong, adjusted, and kept going. Today, SpaceX lands rockets like it's routine. Reflection turned setbacks into breakthroughs. In 2025, with distractions at an all-time high, think endless streaming options or 24/7 news cycles, reflection is your anchor. It's how you stay true to your goals, whether you're building a career, raising a family, or just trying to be a better person. Here's how to start. Grab a notebook or your phone and tonight, write down 3 questions. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? How can I improve tomorrow? Maybe you aced a presentation but snapped at your partner. Acknowledge both and plan to do better. For a practical application, let's say you're struggling with work-life balance. Reflecting nightly can help you spot patterns. Maybe you're saying yes to too many projects. Use that insight to set boundaries, like leaving work at 6 p.m. to be present with your kids. This isn't just self-help, it's self-mastery. I challenge you to try this for 1 week and share your experience in the comments. How did reflection change your perspective? Let's build a community of growth here on ZENLIGHT 8. Next, we'll explore how to cultivate inner peace, even when life feels like a storm. Stay tuned for the next principle. Imagine a lake, still and clear, deep in a forest. Storms may ripple its surface, but beneath it remains untouched, serene. That's the kind of peace we're chasing. Not a life without problems, but a soul that stays calm no matter what. Welcome to the 6th principle of Stoicism on ZENLIGHT. Cultivate inner peace. This isn't something you stumble into, it's a skill built through practice and intention that lets you face life's chaos with unshakable calm. Jesus offered a powerful invitation. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. This isn't just spiritual comfort. It's a call to find strength within, to control your reactions when the world feels out of control. Marcus Aurelius echoed this, writing, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let's ground this in a real story. In 2022, a nurse named Emily worked grueling shifts during a hospital staffing crisis. Overwhelmed, she started each day with 5 minutes of meditation, focusing on her breath and letting go of stress about her workload. That small act didn't change her schedule, but it changed her. She faced long shifts with clarity, even finding moments to comfort patients. Her inner peace became a gift to others. I've had my own journey with this. During a stressful move to a new city, I felt pulled in every direction. New job, new home, new routines. But I started a simple practice. Every morning, I'd sit quietly for 3 minutes, focusing on gratitude. I'd think of one thing I was thankful for, like a sunny day or a kind neighbor. That habit became my anchor, keeping me steady through the chaos. In 2025, with remote work stress, political noise, or even family tensions, inner peace is your secret weapon. You can't control a delayed Zoom meeting or a heated news cycle, but you can control how you respond. Here's how to start. Try a 5-minute morning meditation. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and let go of yesterday's worries or tomorrow's to-do list. If meditation isn't your thing, try prayer or a walk in nature. Anything that reconnects you to the present. For a practical example, let's say you're juggling parenting and a demanding job. When you feel overwhelmed, pause for a deep breath and remind yourself, I can't control everything, but I can choose calm. Maybe that means turning off your phone for 30 minutes to play with your kids. That's cultivating peace. I challenge you to try one peace-building habit today and share it in the comments. Did you meditate, pray, or just take a quiet moment? Let's inspire each other on ZENLIGHT 8. Next, we'll dive into how adversity can forge unbreakable resilience. Stay with me for the next principle. Why do some people crumble under pressure while others rise stronger? The difference lies in how they see hardship, not as a curse, but as a forge for resilience. Welcome to the 7th principle of Stoicism on ZENLIGHT. Develop resilience through adversity. This isn't about avoiding pain. It's about using it to build a stronger, wiser you. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, loss, and illness, yet he wrote, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. Life will throw you to the mat, but it's in the struggle that you grow." Jesus reinforced this, saying, "In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." His words remind us that trials aren't the end, they're the path to victory. Let's look at a powerful example. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, endured unimaginable suffering in Nazi concentration camps. Yet, in his book Man's Search for Meaning, he wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Frankl found purpose in his pain, using it to develop a philosophy that's inspired millions. His resilience wasn't just survival, it was transformation. I faced my own tests. A few years ago, a business venture I poured my heart into failed. I lost money, time, and confidence. But instead of giving up, I leaned into Stoicism. I asked, what can this teach me? That failure pushed me to learn new skills, take smarter risks, and eventually start this podcast. It wasn't easy, but it made me stronger. In 2025, adversity is everywhere. Economic uncertainty, climate challenges, personal setbacks. Maybe you've lost a job, faced a health scare, or struggled with mental health. The Stoic approach is to see these as training grounds. Here's how to apply it. When you hit a setback, pause and ask, what's the lesson here? If you're facing a tough commute or a demanding boss, use it to practice patience. If you're grieving a loss, let it deepen your gratitude for the present. For a practical example, consider fitness. Starting a workout routine is hard, sore muscles, early mornings, slow progress. But each tough workout builds not just physical strength, but mental toughness. Apply that to life. Every challenge is a rep, making you stronger. Try this exercise. Write down one adversity you're facing right now. Then, list one way it's making you stronger. Maybe it's teaching you patience, courage, or empathy. Share your story in the comments. How has a challenge shaped you? Let's build resilience together on ZENLIGHT 8. Next, we'll explore how to stop creating our own upsets, because sometimes we're our own worst enemies. Stay tuned for the next principle. Have you ever turned a small annoyance into a full-blown crisis? A rude comment, a rainy day, or a missed bus can ruin your mood if you let it. Welcome to the 8th principle of Stoicism on ZENLIGHT 8. Don't create your own upsets. This is about taking back control, refusing to let minor hiccups steal your peace. Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic sage, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your power lies in your response." Jesus echoed this, teaching, "Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes?" His words remind us to focus on what's truly important, not the small stuff we inflate. Let's ground this in a modern story. In 2024, a barista named Jake went viral for staying calm when a customer threw a coffee at him over a wrong order. Instead of snapping back, he smiled, remade the drink, and turned a tense moment into a lesson in grace. That's Stoicism in action, not creating an upset where none needs to exist. I've been there too. Once I got stuck in a 2-hour traffic jam on my way to a crucial meeting. My first instinct was to curse the universe, but then I paused. Will this anger get me there faster? I asked. Instead, I used the time to listen to an audiobook and prepare mentally. The meeting went great, and I felt proud of staying calm. In 2025, with social media amplifying every minor drama, this principle is your shield. You can't control a coworker's snarky email or a delayed Amazon delivery, but you can control your reaction. Here's how to apply it. The next time something small frustrates you, like a slow Wi-Fi connection, pause and ask, is this worth my peace? Then, reframe it. Maybe that slow Wi-Fi is a chance to take a break or call a friend. Try this. Exercise. For one day, keep a frustration log. Write down every time you feel annoyed and how you chose to respond. At the end of the day, reflect. How many of those upsets did you create? Share your insights in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're reclaiming your calm. For a practical example, think about parenting. When your kid spills juice on the carpet, it's easy to snap. But pause, breathe, and see it as a chance to teach patience, both to them and yourself. That's how you stop creating upsets. Let's keep this momentum going on ZENLIGHT 8 as we explore how to focus on the how of life, not just the what. Stay tuned for the next principle. Ever feel like you know exactly what you want? A better job, a happier family, a healthier you, but still feel lost? The secret isn't in the goal, it's in how you get there. Welcome to the 9th principle of Stoicism on ZENLIGHT 8. Focus on the how, not the what. This is about mastering your approach, your actions, your mindset, rather than obsessing over outcomes you can't fully control. Seneca wrote, "It does not matter what you bear, but how you bear it. Your power lies in the process, not the prize." Jesus reinforced this, teaching us to focus on living with purpose and integrity, trusting that the results will follow. Let's look at a real-world example. In 2023, a small business owner named Maria faced skyrocketing costs during inflation. Her goal was to keep her bakery open, but instead of fixating on profits, she focused on the how, improving customer service, creating unique recipes, and building a loyal community. Her bakery not only survived but thrived because she poured her energy into what she could control. I've learned this lesson myself. When I started ZENLIGHT 8, I dreamed of reaching thousands of listeners. Early on, the numbers were small, and I could have gotten discouraged. Instead, I focused on the how, crafting better episodes, connecting with you in the comments, and staying true to my mission. Slowly, this community grew because I trusted the process. In 2025, with AI reshaping careers and social pressures pushing us to compare, this principle is vital. You might want a promotion or a dream vacation, but you can't control the final outcome. You can control your effort, your attitude, your daily choices. Here's how to apply it. Pick one goal you're working toward. Say, getting fit. Instead of obsessing over losing 20 pounds, focus on the how. Eating one healthy meal today, walking 10,000 steps, or showing up to the gym. Celebrate those actions, not just the scale. Try this exercise. Write down one goal and 3 how steps you can take this week. Maybe you want to improve your relationships. Your how could be listening more, planning a date night, or practicing patience. Share your goal and steps in the comments. Let's hold each other accountable on ZENLIGHT 8. For a practical example, think about studying. You can't control your final grade, but you can control how you study. Setting a schedule, reviewing notes daily, or joining a study group. That's where your power lies. As we near the end of this journey, let's explore one final principle to tie it all together: prioritizing rationality over emotions. Stay with me for the last step on ZENLIGHT. We've all been there. A heated moment where emotions take the wheel, and before you know it, you've said or done something you regret. What if you could pause, think clearly, and choose wisdom over impulse? Welcome to the 10th and final principle of Stoicism on ZENLIGHT 8. Prioritize rationality over emotions. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about letting reason guide you to better decisions and a more peaceful life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's the Stoic promise. You can choose clarity over chaos. Jesus taught this too, saying, "The wise man builds his house on the rock, and it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock." Reason is that rock, steadying you when life's storms hit. Let's look at a modern example. In 2024, a tech CEO faced harsh online criticism after a product launch flopped. Instead of firing back on social media, she paused, analyzed the feedback, and used it to improve the next version. Her rational response turned a PR disaster into a comeback story. I've had my own moments of choosing reason. Once, during a heated family argument, I felt the urge to lash out. Instead, I took a deep breath, walked away for 5 minutes, and asked myself, what's the wise move here? That pause led to a calm conversation that actually strengthened our bond. In 2025, with polarized debates and instant reactions on platforms like X, rationality is your superpower. Whether it's a coworker's snide remark or a stressful news headline, you can choose to respond, not react. Here's how to apply it. The next time you feel anger or anxiety rising, count to 10 and ask, what's the rational response? Maybe it's addressing a conflict calmly or stepping away from a pointless argument. Try this exercise. For one day, track your emotional reactions. When you feel triggered, Write down what happened and how you chose to respond with reason. Share your experience in the comments. Let's learn from each other on ZENLIGHT 8. For a practical example, think about online shopping. It's easy to impulse buy during a flash sale, driven by excitement. But pause, ask if you need the item, and check your budget. That's rationality in action. By prioritizing reason, you build a life of clarity and control. As we wrap up this journey, let's tie these principles together. View obstacles as opportunities. Let go of imaginary pains. Embrace change. Practice detachment. Reflect daily. Cultivate peace. Build resilience. Stop creating upsets. Focus on the how, and let reason lead. These aren't just ancient ideas. They're tools for thriving in 2025. Start small. Pick one principle to apply this week. Maybe it's reflecting for 5 minutes tonight or letting go of a grudge. Whatever you choose, take action. Your life isn't just about existing. It's about growing every single day. Thank you for joining me on this journey with ZENLIGHT 8. If these principles resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs it. Drop a comment below. Which principle are you applying first? And how will it change your life? Let's build a community of growth and wisdom right here on ZENLIGHT 8. Keep shining, and I'll see you in the next episode.